Hello, friends. My name is Derek. Today, I come to you with an important request. Look at my face. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look at my face. It's on the front of my head. Easy to see my face. For the entire duration of this live stream, I'll be instructing you to look at my face. Hi, Nacho Business. What you doing tonight? Are you making love in the tall grass? You and Mike? You and Mike are making love in the tall grass again, aren't you? It's okay. You don't have to be ashamed when you're talking to me. I'm not one to judge. Mike and I make love in the tall grass every Tuesday afternoon. No, I don't know. I don't have any more, basically. It's all gone. I just decided to stream. I thought I'd start with a little music, little opening music. I said, you know what, maybe I'll even drop the hi-hat in at some point. Why not? Might as well, you know. It makes me shrug my shoulders up and down, up and down, up and down, shoulders up and down. It makes me shrug my shoulders up and down, up and down, up and down, shoulders up and down, and go, and breathe, and pack your knees, and go, and see if you left the cheese out of the refrigerator. Gotta put the cheese back into the refrigerator. Making love in the green grass behind the stadium. Joking with the graphics. Lamau. Yes, Lamau. If you want to tell somebody something, you should say to them Lamau. 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 You could say Lamau. Or you could say Bwa ha 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 ha. Bwa ha 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 ha. Or you could say Lamau. Or you could say bwa ha 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 ha, bwa bwa ha 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 ha. You could say riffle-law, rolling on the floor, riffle-law. You could say bwa ha ha ha. You could say lamau. You could say a number of different things. A kitty kitty cat cat, a kitty cat kit kit kit, a kitty 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 cat cat cat. A kitty kitty cat cat, what do you think is that? I think it's a kitty 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 cat cat. Who kind? What kind, where kind, that kind, my kind of kitty cat. It's a kitty kitty cat cat. Kitty kitty cat cat. Kitty kitty, a cat cat. Which are you? Are you a kitty or a cat? Does it matter which one you are between that two options? Are you a kitty or a cat? Are you shitty? Are you fat? No, you are a kitty or a cat. You live in a city in a flat in London. Kitty, kitty, cat, cat, air on blast, making love in the green grass behind the stadium. Radium is radioactive. You shouldn't put it in your fizzy drinks and drink it down, jizz, just like that. Nah, that's not a good idea. That's how you can get stomach cancer. Who here wants stomach cancer? Anybody? Nobody wants stomach cancer. Nobody wants to catch stomach cancer. Nobody likes it at all. Nobody wants to get stomach cancer, 'cause this is a bad disease for fall. Wait till winter, you see. Nobody likes to get stomach cancer. It's the least kind of stomachy cancer that you'd like to catch. If you were gonna catch a cancer in your stomach, I bet you could reject cancer stomach if you would, I bet. Rejecting cancer in the stomach. No thanks, that's it. This is the third time you've offered it to me. I said, no thanks, I don't want cancer in my stomach. I'm not going to eat your radium. No thanks, I don't want cancer in my stomach. Nacho Biz might want cancer in his stomach. Desert INTJ likely definitely wants some cancer in his stomach. But me, no thanks. I'll do away with the cancer in my stomach. I'll choose another alternative instead. Perhaps instead I'll get red blood platelets on the top of my nose and call it rouge. I'm wearing rouge on my nose. Hi Mac Daddy, have you got those kinds of cosmetics that they call rouge? Hey everybody, let's put on some rouge. Put on some rouge. Put on some rouge. Hey everybody, let's put on some rouge. Go to mascara. Hey everybody, let's put on some rouge. Put on some rouge. Put on some rouge. Hey everybody, let's put on some rouge. And then go to mascara. I brought an eyeliner here and an eyeliner there. I can pluck my eyebrow, every single little hair. I got my eyeliner where? I got my eyeliner here, right next to my mascara. Let's put on some rouge, yeah. Put on some rouge. Hi, Rachel Lapalosa. I'm giving makeup tutorials right now on the internet. Put on some rouge. Put on some rouge. Do you see this very rougey dot right here? That's because I put some rouge right there. It makes my cheek very red right there. It's a rougey circle, not a rougey square, but let's put on some rouge, some rouge, some rouge. It will improve our complexion. I'll pat on some rouge, some rouge, some rouge. It will improve my complexion. A little rouge here, a little rouge there, a little more rouge. Make me fair skinned and popping with blood vessels. Makes me look like I'm embarrassed. A little bit of rouge, a little bit of rouge. Put on mascara and a little bit of rouge. Good advice. Right now, you look like a dead person. Your skin has got no color to it. You're just so pallid. I worry about you. You need to put on some rouge. If not, then maybe at least a little bit of blush. Or perhaps some rosé. Spread the color of rosé upon your face. I'm not pivoting, I'm just riveting, putting together a bridge. I'm not pivoting, I'm just riveting, putting together a bridge. I'm not pivoting, I'm just riveting, putting together a bridge. In the olden days, I'm not pivoting, just riveting, putting together a bridge. In the olden days, I'm not riveting, I'm riveting. I'm not pivoting, you got me all confused. Geez, ways. So many ways to assemble a bridge these days. Yeah, I don't know how you would listen to that guy's music and say that. The guy is textbook ENTP. He says ENTP has a plate full of ENT carrots and peas. I got a plate full of ENTP carrots and peas. They're golden and red and sea. Green circles rolling around. I got ENT carrots and peas in my town. Yeah, ENT carrots and peas. I got a spittle on my knees. I got some ENT carrots and peas. The orange and brown and the green ones around. So there you go. That was my intro music. Now I can take my headphones off. There's no more intro music to play. You only get 9 minutes of intro. Is that too little intro? You really need about 45 minutes of intro, probably. Hi, Rachel Wapawosa. We went out to dinner with Rachel Wapawosa's mother tonight. Her mom and my dad seemed to hit it off great. A couple of ESTJs. Back and forth and about timeshares. Hog heaven. He's one of the guys from They Might Be Giants. The guy who does more of the singing. Someday mother will die and we'll get the money. Mom leans down and says my sentiments exactly. You son of a bitch, I palindrome, I palindrome, I palindrome, I palindrome, and I am a snakehead eating the head on the opposite side. I palindrome, I palindrome, I. You are a Hey, listen. Only some of my stuff is any as hell. I've got some NI shit too, you know. My songwriting's becoming. I mean, I'm actually happy to say, and I'm surprised to hear myself say this. My most realized songs are better than They Might Be Giants' best songs in terms of songwriting. Now, granted, the vast majority of my shit is worse than their shit, but you know, They Might Be Giants somehow never quite seems to escape the trap of being themselves, whereas in certain moments I can. It's like they seized upon the audience that liked their kind of shit, and there was no real huge. I wrote Agave Weatherman. Agave Weatherman is not a particularly. Oh, I mean, I know. I'm familiar with the album. I know what you're talking about. I do make lots of little proto songs. I mean, that's the any process fundamentally. Is there's a lot of proto songs, little chunks and bits and stuff, and some of them evolve into actual songs and not. And it's very much the any process to hate, also to waste those little chunks and stuff. So that's totally the any process. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that I don't really listen to They Might Be Giants, even though I've always liked them. And the reason I don't really listen to them that much anymore, with occasional exceptions, is because they just need to be serious, you know? That's what's lacking in They Might Be Giants, is any real seriousness. Even when they're trying to be serious, they can't quite be serious. And if you're going to have a truly accomplished piece of songwriting, you've got to be serious, you know? Thanks, not your business about Agave Weatherman. Yeah, I would totally do fingertips. That is very much something I would do. But not anymore, you know? And I get it that they've grown as artists too. But they still sound so much always like them. And it's true from the... Even though they're constantly trying to deviate from previous approaches to songwriting, they never don't sound like them. You know, that's a cover, Istanbul, not Constantine. Well, they didn't write that song. Istanbul, not Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople, why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the Turks. And they definitely were an influence on me too. You know, it's like I got into them. I mean, the thing is, I listened to They Might Be Giants back when they came out with, you know, Don't Let's Start on the flip side of High Were the Replacements as a 2-song EP. And I liked them, but the thing is, they've got some great achievements of songwriting, and yet at the same time, because they never attach to their subject matter authentically, there's always a certain playful distance that never really comes together as fully realized music in some way. Like some of my favorite They Might Be Giants songs that I just really like to sing are kind of some of the early ones, like like that song. And it's like, this should be brilliant songwriting, except it's so silly. Okay, because this is one of their best songs in terms of writing. It's so simple too. It just goes, I met someone at the dog show. She was holding my left arm. And everyone was telling normal, so I tried to look nonchalant. We both said I really loved you. The Shriners loaned us cars. We raced up and down the sidewalk 20,000 million times. Why did they send her over anyone else? How should I forget? These things happen to other people. They don't happen at all. In fact, when they're calling you an angel, doesn't mean you have to throw your body off a building. And they're calling you an angel, calling you a pinhead, calling you the nicest things. I heard they had a space program. When you sing, you can't hear. There's no air now. Sometimes I think I kind of like that, and other times I think I'm already there. Boom, boom, boom. Gonna ask for my admission. Gonna speak to the man in charge. The secretary says he's on another line. Can I hold for a long, long time? I found out she's an angel. I don't think she knows I know. I'm worried that something might happen to her if anyone never finds out. Why did they send her over anyone else? How should I react? These things happen to other people. They don't happen at all. In fact, when you're falling on an angel, when you're running up them, and I'm running up the building. It's a great song, but it's just so, it's like, it needs to be a little less bouncy in a couple spots, and kind of like, it needs more room. There's too many words. This is consistently the problem with They Might Be Giants, is too many words. You might say, Eric, why are you calling that kettle black? And I'd say you are correct, but that's something that I'm specifically working on, based on, in part, my understanding of where They Might Be Giants falls short, So the thing is, I do have plenty of songs that fall into that kind of category of thing, where it's like songs with too many words, songs that are silly when they have good ideas, but they end up doing something silly with them instead of something serious. But I also have a good number of serious songs that are definitely making an effort to be don't let's start. This is the worst part. To believe in all the world that you're my only special girl. Well, don't let's start. This is the worst part. I don't want to be in while you get around. I don't want to live in your world anymore. I don't want to live in your world. Don't let's start. It's a pretty good song. And as you can see, I know their catalog well, like at least their older catalog. I listened to it when I was a teenager, so it sticks in my mind. I remember the songs. I remember how to sing them. Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to find a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. Now we're at it. Leave the lifetime on it in the birdhouse in your soul. Apparently, they've got a hit now. Like recently, they one of their songs like blew up, which is weird now in this point in their career. Well, they've got an incredibly huge catalog of music, and they do have a lot of great songs. It's just that none of them have serious lyrics to them, which is kind of, is lyrics matter and they don't, but sometimes it's just like, okay, but what if you really tried? That's what you think about the Might Be Giant songs. What if you really tried? Instead of just kind of trying, but not out of your comfort zone. Other They Might Be Giant songs I like a lot are There's only 2 songs in me, and I just wrote the third. Don't know where I found the inspiration or how I wrote the words. My whole life just digging up my music shallow grave for the 2 songs in me and the third one I just made. That's a neat little term, a neat little song, And like. Alright, but then some of their better songs that are a little bit less They Might Be Giants are like Road Movie to Berlin. Maybe one of the most serious songs, sort of, and it's still kind of jokey. Rhythm section won't add, no others need apply to the rhythm section won't add. Here's the reason why. And then they play some instruments. It's pretty funny. They, like Road Movie to Berlin is a really good slow song. I mean, there's fewer slower songs or can be really quite good. We're on a road movie to Berlin. Can't drive out the way we drove in. Slowly sneak out this glass a bourbon, and we'll go. Time won't bind the costs. It'll take up a hell of a night and take the wheel, and I will work the pedal. Wham, 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 wham. It's a pretty good track, that one. Another one of my favorites is End of the Tour. End of the Tour is probably one of their more serious-ish songs, along with, say, like Kiss Me Son of God. That's got a really jazzy, kind of neat song to it. I built a little empire out of some crazy garbage called the blood of the exploited working class. Now they're calling me your highness, and they've overcome their shyness, and the world screams, kiss me, son of God. I look like Jesus, so they say, but Mr. Jesus is very far away. Now you're the only one here who can tell me if it's true that you love me and I love me. I built... Just goes around again then. It's really singable, Anna Ng is great too, of course. Anna Ng and I are getting old, and Anna Ng and I are getting old, and we still haven't walked in the glow of each other's majestic presence. Listen, Anna, hear my words, are the ones you would think I would say if there was a me for you. I saw this written on a bridge. I don't want the world. I just want your half. We're pretty great, Pretty great. The thing is, Weird Al is not doing anything remotely as robust artistically as They Might Be Giants is. Nothing remotely similar. They Might Be Giants are real artists. They just are limited, as every artist is, but in ways that I'm trying not to be. Lie still, little battle, as if my sleeping hand. I'm talking down, that's a good one too. They got a lot of good songs. They got so many songs. The spiraling shape will make you go away. And everyone up and bam bam bam. But ain't dang dang dang. Banana bam dang bam 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 bam. Well, I mean, the thing is, every artist has got two scales to work on. In other words, if I'm a one hit wonder and I've got one great song and the rest of my stuff is crap, if you only hear that one great song and that's all you know me for, then you'll think, hey, that guy's great. I love that song of his. If you like that song a lot and you pursue a bunch of other stuff and nothing else sounds like it, then you're gonna go, oh, that guy's a one hit wonder. And if you like that song a lot and you listen to other stuff of theirs and it has a lot of differentiation, well, then you probably aren't going to listen to enough to find more of what you like, because you're going to assume this is too wildly different from the other stuff and probably nothing else sounds like this. So you're kind of in a challenge as a musical artist. Plus there's the challenge of, what do I actually put up for public consumption? I only have some mature works and stuff that I'm really proud of as like representing me, and some other stuff I might enjoy listening to but not really want representing me, and so those sort of questions come into play as well. It's a complicated equation, but when you got my way so entrenched at this point, you might as well just keep rolling with it. And my way is just do your best to do things and be human and put them up and fail sometimes and succeed sometimes, and you're never gonna appeal to. With something like music, it's not like an argument, right? So if I'm saying this is true about cognitive functions, then if you're going to come push back, I'm going to argue with you. If I say, here's a song I put up, and you're going to say, this is shitty, I'm just going to say, well, I've listened to that song. I don't have it memorized or anything, but I've listened to it. I also listened to, I'm an man sandwich, The Communists Have the Music. That's a good song. Now, this is actually highly energized black mold that's begun growing on my shirt. And it's going to start some sort of pandemic. And, we'll have to take emergency measures. Lots of emergency measures. Rachel's mom's in town, and it was very pleasant since she's been here. She just got here, and we went out to dinner with my dad, and it was very nice watching my dad and Rachel's mom yammer at each other about boring shit while Rachel and I just sort of took a breath like, good. They can do this to each other. But the point is, Rachel's mom made a mistake of, well, really a mistake, but of bringing up a couple of COVID things, and I went on a momentary car rant while I was in the car there for about 2 minutes. I was like, oh, that Jeffrey's mom. She managed to get me once again to help Jeffrey with this stupid English paper I already helped him with, until she instructed him to talk to his teacher and get advice on it. Now, she filmed this conversation between him and his teacher, and what was super obvious watching it for just 5 minutes was the teacher doesn't know what the fuck she wants. It's like Jeffrey asks her a specific question and she gropes around for an answer. Like, I mean, I guess you could. She's like trying to ante something up on the spot for how to be better than it is, but she's not allowing for the possibility that maybe it's fine the way it is. Because he's specifically asking, how can I improve this? Because mom told him to, even after we worked on it. And so then I said, hey, you, I don't like coming back and you messed with my shit, But once again, I get talked into doing it. I just can't help it. I became you. I did. Is that why I'm always getting into arguments in the chat? Jack Torrance. Super spy. Jack Torrance sounds like the name for a hero in an action book. Maybe even Jack Torrid. My tulpa? I don't know what a tulpa is. You must be vaccinated. Yes, that's a great argument. Well, we just got this bullshit paper from my mom's nursing home today saying if we want to visit my mom, then we need to get proof of vaccine plus booster shot plus a negative COVID test within, 48 hours or something of when we go visit. And, of course, this is too much hassle. So what are we going to do instead of doing that? Well, we'll just get medical transport to bring mom to Cheesecake Factory to eat lunch with us and stuff like that instead, right? So, this is the ultimate perfect example of health theater running afoul of itself, right? Because since if they persisted in the current status quo approach, which is basically you just have to show your proof of vaccination, then it's easy enough to go in there, get vaccinated, go in there, and whatever. But now that they're making it so that we have to have the booster shot, which I don't really want to get since I didn't enjoy the second shot very much. And which I don't want to get because I don't care. I'd rather just get COVID. Who cares? But not that it's going to stop me from getting it anyway. It's incorrectly named a vaccine, right? It's more like a mitigator. So anyhow, what will we do? Well, we'll get mom transported to the Cheesecake Factory. So the thing is, the state of California may be able to successfully get away with mandating that nobody can visit nursing homes without these extraordinary measures. But they're not going to be able to get away with saying that old people no longer have the right to leave their house because they're old or because they live with other old people. So the thing is, there's no way in how they're going to successfully prevent us from taking mom to the Cheesecake Factory, because to do that would mean that essentially they're kidnapping her or imprisoning her without any charges, without any legal authority to do so. So, what ends up happening? Instead of reducing net exposure, they increase it with their ridiculous control mechanisms. Because at the end of the day, they're going to have a very difficult time saying old people who live in nursing homes must stay inside until they die. It's like, what happened to their rights, you know? You can get away with it maybe if you're mandating rules for businesses. Businesses have fewer rights to be free from regulation than individuals do. Well, I mean, I think what's happening right now is the lack of framework is making shit. The Supreme Court's not going to. No, it's not going to. Because here's the problem. What my argument, the argument I just made is too powerful. In other words, well, since you've instituted these draconian measures to make it so difficult for me to go visit my mom, we'll just take her out into the world where you don't have control over the space anymore. And then we'll send her back to that space. And that's what you chose. So, remember, that's what you chose. I mean, the thing is, part of the thing, and one of the beautiful things we see is what we'd exactly expect to see when there's no framework, which is some places treating it like nothing at all, and some places treating it like the world's coming to an end, and some places in between. You see people having to wear masks inside a store next door to a stadium in which they go in and watch a football game and don't wear masks. I mean, the thing is, she lives there. It's her house, right? So they don't get to not let her back in. Look, from what I've read, SCOTUS is not going to uphold this OSHA thing, if that's what you're talking about. They're not going to. The federal government has no authority over this. And you'd have to be just... The Supreme Court, I mean, not that it's not within their power to do this. They did it with marijuana, with the Angel case, but they'd have to really just have all of their heads of their collective acid to try to justify this as some sort of, some sort of somehow justified by interstate commerce or what? I mean, come on. There's no... I mean, the thing is, having guns doesn't allow us to do anything, Legends Fall. Because at the end of the day, if we're at the point where the lawlessness of the system is so rampant that it's less lawless to take the law into our own hands, then it's already too late. You know? And it's already too late. No, I didn't. I don't even... You don't depress me, please. I don't even want to know. Just... I don't even want to know. I mean, Legends Fall. The problem with that is, even if that were the case, like that there were circumstances that would allow that to work, you'd have to have a lot more imbalance between the numbers of the team in power and the team opposing them. And unfortunately, you've got basically balance in America. And so the only way that people can really justify any kind of insurrection is if a minority is seized and held power that is in contrary to the will of the majority and denied them the legal means, legal and nonviolent means of compelling that transition, you know? Legends Fall, don't talk like that. You're going to get some sort of weird strike for me or something. I'm going to just remove that comment. Stop planning. Or whatever you want to call that. I mean, obviously the job is to get Eric elected president. That's what everybody should be focusing on right now. If you really care about the state of the country, start making and handing out flyers, independent of me, advertising me as a desirable candidate for president. You don't need to ask me about it. You don't need to tell me about it. Just do it. Nike style. At Nike, they just do things. Did we have a meeting about this new shoe design? Fuck no, just do it. Talk's cheap, bro. Talk is cheap. Just do it. But this Legends Fall, remember, in America, the state comprises a bunch of government employees who are just regular schmoes like you and me, who live next door to you or something, and elected officials who are centralized in Washington or state capital or whatever, but are nevertheless, ultimately, if you get down to it, just regular schmoes like you and me. They may be power-hungry schmoes, they may be deluded schmoes. A lot of them are deluded, like they think they understand what's good for the country, and they don't. But, you know, that's just life as a human being, I guess. Everybody's all fucked up. Yep, life as a human being. No! Ah! God! Get away! Disgusting thing. Ah! What is that? Yeah! Gross. There was a gross possum. I hate gross possums. There was a gross possum in the trash. Grossing me out. Are they being bothered by possums too? Legends Fall. That's not true. The vast majority of people would play fence sitters, wait and see. The number of people who are willing to take concrete illegal action on the grounds that it's going to work are fairly small in number. It might not, after all, and then you are arrested and in trouble. You know? I mean, how would you even begin to organize such a thing without running afoul of things like the FBI? Look, there are plenty of legal mechanisms. The thing is, before anybody even dreams of that, of doing that kind of extreme thing, why don't they put a shit ton of effort into getting Eric elected president first? Because that would solve the problem better than anything else, without any firing of weapons. You know. And I mean, it would be a very high threshold of, I guess, totalitarianism before I said, okay, that's the last straw. This is no longer a legal or legitimate state. But I mean, it would take a lot for me to get to that threshold. I understand that we live in a society that's not perfect, that's changing, that's trying to understand what it is, and a lot of other things, you know? I don't think California has particularly draconian laws. I mean, first of all, a draconian law is actually a law with a really extreme punishment. It's not a restrictive law like the one that prevents me from seeing my mom, unless we do it the way I say to do it, you know. Well, the thing is this, Peter and TG. This is what happens when there's not a framework. Then people just change their justifications for things as their previous ones were falsified, shifting ground to a new thing, ignoring completely what's come before argumentationally. So nobody's anymore justifying it with a 4% fatality rate. But if it were originally, in fact, justified with that, then shouldn't we change our position on it when it drops down and it turns out it's 0.4%? You know? I mean, I haven't experienced a whole lot of so-called draconianism. Even if you were to broaden the meaning of the word to just strict restrictions, I've not experienced any oppression or anything per se. I certainly have had to wear masks at times when I don't want to, but I just deal with it, you know. I'd rather wear the mask than fight about it. It's not gonna. I'm not. You got to know when you're gonna win a fight or something. You got to wait for the mood to. Well, I agree. I probably used it in the same way I just said one shouldn't use it, but I don't remember exactly how I used it. The point is, technically, regardless of whether I'm the one who started this problem or not, misusing it, then I'll start by correcting myself and say, technically, draconian means extreme punishments, like that are disproportionately large for the crime. Okay, so the thing is, Peter didn't teach you. Unfortunately, you can't win this argument because if you're right, then I'm right for the other reason I said, which is these control measures won't work, and that every time we try to pull back on them, the numbers will spike again. I said that early on. It's proved to be true. I said early on because it's a coronavirus, it's highly likely the vaccine won't work, and I was proved to be right. And so, of course, my whole point is not that. Okay, so Peter Ntichi says it's higher than 0.4%. It's not 4% or anywhere close to that, but it's as high as 0.6%, he's saying. Okay, well, you're then what? What are you missing? The rhymes with roint. The point, of course, is not what COVID is, whether it's meow bad or meow bad or meow bad, right? It's that for the reasons I indicated, our efforts are ultimately counterproductive because they create harms without creating any real lasting benefits, and they simply drag out the inevitable process of a novel disease running its course, as it needs to. The simple course of action we should have taken from the beginning is to inform everybody and allow them to take whatever safety protocols they deem appropriate for themselves. We should have warned people in more vulnerable populations. Make sure you take as many safety protocols as you can, because remember, this is especially deadly for you or something, right? That's what we should have done from the outset. And there should have been canceling shit, no closing shit, none of that stuff. And we should have, from the outset, like Eric said, let it run its course with the aforestated public service encouragements, right? Without trying to seize control of everybody in a circumstance where we don't know. So that's always been my point. And no matter how much you want to argue with me, you've never actually answered that point. You don't have anything to say about it at all. You just say irrelevant stuff. Right? Yes, I get dragged down into some of the arguments about the data, and obviously I like to pick the parts of the data that sort of minimize the severity of it, because people are so absorbed in this severity justifies everything frame of reference. Of course, that's where they went wrong in the first place. If it's dramatically more severe than, say, flus or colds or things like that, for example, if it's airborne Ebola, it's got a 40% fatality rate or something, fine, I gotcha. But the other thing to remember is that you can't have both sides of it. Either it's a huge problem, lots of people have it, everybody's getting it, everybody's dying, or our control measures are working. You can't have both. Right? You can't have both. That's one thing we can all agree on. You can't have both. Oh yeah. Well, that was one of the problems today, was that people forgot to look at my face. So, Peter Ntichi, this is your chance, your day to this is your come to Jesus moment, to realize that, yeah, you've been on the wrong side of this issue from the get-go. Eric was right from the get-go. And it's time to stop being on Team Evil. No, when I talked about the death count, now note when Peter Ntichi says, I just know the death count is higher than what's posted. And he's got the ways to prove it. Remember, the original death count was 4%. So the death count you have is way lower than that. So you're just choosing to say what's most recently posted yours is a little higher than, ignoring the much more significant issue of the fact that what I said before anybody else even dreamed of saying it was that it would be at least 10 times lower than the posted rate, which proved to be correct even if you're right now. So think a little bit, right? It's important to think with your brain instead of your stupid bone. No, I know, Peter Ntichi, at the beginning of COVID, the way it was sold to us as dramatically important that we do these dramatic measures was that it had a 4% fatality rate. At that time, while you were still trying to get your mind around, while you were still playing dig a panic hole like everybody else, I'm sure, I had correctly articulated exactly what the problem with the data gathering methodology was, and that the actual fatality rate was going to be much lower than that. I was correct. Now, your fatality rate may be slightly higher than the corrected one from original, but you were not saying at the time that it was 10 times lower than what they're saying. You were not saying that, and I was saying that. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what happened. So maybe you need to have a little bit of humility about your passion for this issue and the specifics of it, whatever they are, and start thinking, Eric's right. I'm in the wrong frame level here. I'm at the contention level arguing when I need to be focusing on what Eric's saying, which is these things are irrelevant, will only be used to make bad advocacies because the frame needs to be set properly. Dig a panic hole. Dig a panic hole is what everybody does anytime the syllable co or the syllable bid or the combination of the two syllables gets said. No, Peter, I'm not. I'm saying, why are you correcting me, quibbling on exactly whether the posted 0.4% is accurate or not? You say you've got papers to prove it's higher than that. I would say, well, foremost, I mean, almost certainly you went seeking that data, because if you were looking at data objectively, you would have looked at the whole scope of it and you would have said, wow, the numbers are way lower than they originally said, and there doesn't seem to be an according adjustment back from the severity of the response. That would be the only thing of significance to you. Since it's not, I'm saying what I'm saying, right? That you're at the wrong level of argumentation. Again, you're not responding to what I said, Peter Dentici. I didn't say that about whatever your side or position is. I'm saying, what? What did I actually say? See how COVID makes everybody so angry at each other? Isn't that weird? More than anything else I've encountered in a long ass fucking time. If ever. More than abortion. COVID makes people more angry at each other than abortion. Yeah, blame Jeffrey's mom. I should have said 12:30 instead of 12:15 to her. Also, that lady's internet was kind of spotty, so there were times when it was kind of hard to hear her. It wasn't a free flowing, easy, tech problem free conversation, you know. Although it was and or should have been, except for the tech flow interruptions, you know. Did I say you were upset, Peter Dentici? I don't think I said that. I said it makes people so mad at each other. I mean, it does make me mad at you. I guess I'm projecting my own emotions there. It makes me mad at you and everybody for not just saying, okay, we're done. We're done trying to be right about it or even correct. We're just going to repeat what Eric says, because at this point, you know, he makes ever more sense. Oh, Elise S. Let's be honest. People were already terrified of gays. They're afraid of getting judged for their lack of fashion. They're afraid of getting snickered at with a joke they don't get. They're afraid of feeling like they can talk to their own girlfriend less well than this other dude over here. What's up with that? You know, these are some of the many reasons why people were always afraid of gays. I mean, everybody's first response is, what? But that's not the kind of person you're supposed to hump. It's the other kind. You've got it backwards. Well, I'll tell you what doesn't add up. HIV adds up fine. What doesn't add up? Full-blown AIDS. Like, what makes it full-blown? Full-blown. When it's partially blown, why is it so much less harmful then yes, correct, Jack. Yes, I already acknowledged this. That yes, I did use it that way, and I'm the one who started it. And then I corrected you for using it the way I used it. And what I was really doing there, and should have said, is correcting myself because I'm the one who made the mistake. Is that clear? I acknowledge that. It is true. Look, I mean, the thing is, for people who are super panicky about COVID stuff, the fact is the pendulum's already swinging the other direction. And the sustainability of these measures is getting less convincing. The arguments for it are getting less and less convincing. So, even though the people who are attached to those arguments are still scrambling to support them, they have to scramble harder and further. And increasingly, the intelligent ones among them are going to break. What's that called? Break rank. For a virus to erupt randomly in the 1900s in that manner, and for it to be a virus with a 100% death rate without proper medication, come on. Club NT, you're harshing Club ENTP's mellow, you guys. I don't know enough about the HIV subject to comment on it, really. At least that's. From what I understand, some depraved homosexuals had sex with some equally depraved homosexual monkeys, and God hated it so much he created AIDS. Is that true? Is that what happened? That's what the church told me. That's what the Church of Latter-day Former Days told me. If you're Latter Days Former Days pre-sanctification saint replacement therapy, what are you? Replace IQ with what you take on COVID. the simple IQ test. Explain everything correct about COVID. And then only I'd get 100%. And everybody who listened to me instead of argued with me like they usually do. We didn't want to agree with Eric. We wanted to argue with him. We hate agreeing with Eric so much. Yeah, Eric makes it so unpleasant to agree with him because I was talking about how he's so smart and he's so right. So who wants to agree with him? Nobody. God, if he would just stop being so Eric-y, maybe we could actually get something from him instead of him making it so utterly unpalatable for us all the time. In today's session, your explanation about trying to get INFP to leave the house was so true. I have to get ready to go. Right? Yeah, that's INFP. They, an outing? Oh gosh. Ooh. It's the beginning of a long, searching inside journey that will eventually end in yes, I would like to go out on this outing. Like hours after it's over. Bob Saget is dead? Of Full House fame? Is that true? What did he die of? Being a silly goose? So, it's always nice to get a little confirmation as well when I have a type like that lady and she says, well, I think I might be an INFP. It's nice to hear from somebody I know is an INFP that, what, Actually, I'm jumping ahead. Do you agree that she's not an INFP? Well, okay, and that's something we can both agree on. The fuck, Peter Dentici? I mean, what are you trying to argue? That's the point. What are you arguing about exactly? Why do you want to argue with me? I'm not saying anything false. All of my words are full of wisdom. The wisdom of 1,000 ages. No fewer than 1,000. Lulubot knows. You're not? Oh, so we're just pretending to want to argue without really recognizing that secretly we're hugging? I mean, did you hear her clear revulsion of ordinality and fixing anything? But you know, Legends Fall, maybe you and I are also secret hugging. Under here, underneath where the camera is, we're secret hugging. Saying, there, it's okay. That fourth slot and I. Shh, 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 shh. It's who you are. It's okay. Come here, big guy. Shh, 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 shh. That's me comforting Legends Fall over being wrong about today's typing. All right, that's enough. It's gonna be okay. Come here, big guy. There. Shh, shh, shh. I know, just let it all out. Yeah, bury your head in my shoulder and let it all out. I mean, I usually don't look back and doubt them. There definitely are some typings that I feel confused still somewhat at the end. I'm not happy with uh, uh, I'm not happy because there's a couple of data points that stand out as sore thumbs or whatever that suggest maybe I got it wrong, but I can't think of a better type for them. And my hope is always that more testing would, in fact, make those sore thumbs heal and return to normal thumbs. But they may alternately reveal that these other things that I was using sort of, okay, it's somewhere between there and there and somewhere between there and there, that one of those was wrong, and then but yeah, so it's like I'm by no means perfect in my typings, and sometimes I think people can unnecessarily make me question my own typing because when I'm rewatching it in like the premiere, like the other day, Legends Fall. At the point in the typing we were at, he was right to be pushing more heavily for ESTP. Even though I got it right, I understand that at that point in the typing, I hadn't done the work to really establish that. But then after I told her typing, I think it kind of became increasingly clear to everybody that she was an ENTP as we continued to chat a bit. But, so the piggyback question was what I hypothesized when I asked it. I said to myself, if she's an ISFJ, then she's going to prefer piggybacks, and the reason is because she's going to find shoulder rides unsafe. Now, well, you make a good argument there, Legends Fall. You do make a good argument. I mean, I will concede that I didn't do enough work to eliminate ESFJ as a possibility. She also self-reports as seeming more extroverted than she is, which is much more likely to be self-reported by an ISFJ than an ESFJ, but I agree that's not definitive. And I'm not unhappy with my typing, but now you've made me less happy with it. So good job. Good job, you made me sad. And that's a serious thing that I'm saying. I need this, or I will fail to be rigorous. There was a typing a few days ago. Oh God, why didn't you stop by? In a hurry. In a hurry. That's your excuse? You were in a hurry? That's the stupidest excuse I ever heard. In a hurry. Well, I think that's probably because you're an introvert, Alec, and they're trying to mirror. No, it is good to be kept on my toes, and Legends Fall is particularly good at making me doubt myself. Actually, he seems to pick up on the shortcomings in my typing. The other day, and I think Alec, maybe among others, said this was a really good and thorough typing. I did a really good and thorough job, and it's like if I watch that video again, and not that it would really necessarily help me, but when I'm that guy, I'm really good. When I do a really thorough job and I really want to get it right. And I'm also like in a clear kind of state of mind, so I'm more likely to catch glimmers of an NI thing that says, you're overconfident here. Then maybe I might be in another more cloudy state of mind, I guess. And whether or not I'm like sharp or cloudy, it's a mix of a number of different things. Jeremiah Fix is not wrong about everything. I can think of at least one thing he's not wrong about. If I tried, I'm sure. Yeah, I believe you, Club EHP. You know what you can always believe when it comes out of an EHP's mouth? 100%. Guaranteed they're gonna show they weren't just blowing smoke. When they say, I'll plan it out better next time. Phew, you can count on it. Next time they will plan it out better. You're not gonna plan it out any better next time. You are not gonna plan it out better. You're gonna just have it'll be. Oops, what was that thing again? Oh, fuck that. Well, whatever. He doesn't care. And you'll be right. I mean, I will care when I find out about it for like 5 minutes. I'll be like, what the fuck, dude? You were in a hurry again? But then I'll forget about it. You know me. They call me Mr. Forgets a lot. Well, now it's meta up too far to make sure to be clear as to what exactly it is, whether it's a challenge or just, there's so many possible things you could do with it. You could purposely make it happen or unpurposely make it happen and then wonder if you made it happen purposely. Or you could falsify it by actually coming and planning it and having a piece of paper with the plan written on it, with the title on it, plan, to show me, simply for the purpose of falsifying my limiting narrative that I try to cast upon you like a net to trap you within its wordy confines, despite the fact that nobody traps you in a word net, mister. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna trap you in a word net. I can't believe that those are links to websites. How are they going to get anyone to go to them? Maybe they should put some words nearby saying, click this link over here. I like my nomenclature like my women. Obscure. Of indeterminate reality. Actually, more precisely. So, you want to talk a little philosophy stuff? I'm going to go over with you real quick. I'm going to share with you an exciting adventure in learning because Jeffrey's mom wants me to work with Chloe. As I may have mentioned in the past, she ridiculously thinks that I don't want to work with Chloe because of a lack of chemistry. When in reality, it is because the thing she wants me to do with Chloe is to train her fish to fly well. And I say, listen, lady, it's true. Flying's just swimming in a less viscous medium, but regardless of that reality, I cannot teach your fish to fly. She says, but try, Mr. Strauss, but try. Just try. You can, though. No, I can't. Stop trying to make your 7'4" person child be a jockey at the horse racing track. It's not a good fit, you know. Just makes me want to spell my stops Staahp. Please don't make me misspell my stops. You know I hate that. Okay, let's look at a little Heidegger. Let's look at a little Heidegger's. Let's look at a little Eric summarizes Heidegger's intro part 1 with and for Chilo. So I've always been kind of enamored with Heidegger because he seems the person who most gets it and isn't just arguing about contention level shit within a frame that's open to dispute, but rather is arguing about what comprises the right frame and stuff like that. So Heidegger is German for the person who digs out the pie crust to pour the inside part of the pie into. And if you're a little curious about Heidegger's being and time, it links quite a bit to cognitive functions. I think you'll find this philosophically revealing. If you want to have philosophy reveal itself like a like the proverbial over trench coat clad fellow in warm weather. Not exactly the kind of person you wish to open their trench coat, needless to say. There we go. That's more like it. That's the kind of fun and excitement that I enjoy when I drink Lipton iced tea. Lipton, a real flavored tea with a real flavor. That's their motto. Because they are that. They're a real flavored tea with a real flavor. Okay, here we go. Alright, so let's take a little look at this. Eric summarizes the first part of Heidegger's Being and Time, which is a delightful jaunt down nostalgia lane. If you want to experience, thrills, chills, romance, adventure, it's all here. Paragraph 1. Heidegger laments philosophy has moved away from questions regarding the nature of being. Just for Chloe's purposes, you can put being equals existence, observation, or the capacity to observe anyway, agency, consciousness. It gets expressed in various forms. But paragraph 2. Being is so universal a component underlying every question that often it's now considered a kind of category error to philosophize about the meaning and nature of being at all. Whoa, Heidegger, you're onto something there. It does seem that your logicians might toss aside this fundamental question on the grounds that it's axiomatic. Paragraph 3. Three core notions work against the direct study of being. Paragraph 4. Taxonomy itself, the first of these notions, taxonomy itself, the drawing of distinctions to organize things, supervenes on being. So the idea that you can explain being by saying it's representative of a set of kinds of things is false, and you can't infer being from examples of it. Beings aren't being. We can never look at being from anywhere except within the box of being. So those are a couple of the notions, and here we have the other notion, which is being evades definition by not representing an example of anything. It can't follow from examples of being, nor can be inferred therefrom. In other words, it's unlike any other concept in that it's like space in how it's impossible to imagine any physicality without allowing for the necessary precondition that space exists, but unlike space in that being applies to everything, not just physicality. Indefinability doesn't excuse us from examining being as an object of analysis, but rather requires us to do so. Is Heidegger's conclusion to paragraph 5. Remember, this is what Heidegger says, not necessarily what Eric says. Paragraph 6. Everybody thinks they know what it means to be, insofar as everybody uses the verb freely to communicate, but nobody can define it, and nobody even bothers to try. Paragraph 7. Yeah is self-evident, doesn't do any philosophical work as an argument. It's just an appeal to shared perception that hasn't even been established. So basically, declaring things as axiomatic because of observational obviousness is not an adequate thing to have in any piece of philosophy, basically. Paragraph 8. Unlike translating something from French to English, the lack of frame, unlike in the framed activity of translating something from French to English, which is very clear. One thing is the frame you convert into, and one frame is, and then from that frame you attack the object that needs to be converted. So that's very easy to understand. But when investigating the question of being, there's a lack of a frame. In other words, there's nothing to convert it into in the same way that you can convert French to English. There's no third thing to check against. You might check against by converting it to German as well, and then converting it to German to French. So, being means a lack of clarity about what questions you're trying to answer, since there's no frame that does the job of dictating what's the object and what's the converter, since being's the top level frame. So first, let's analyze how we might ask these kind of questions and formulate the queries in ways that we can use the answers to do things. And that is Eric's summary of Intro 1, pages 1 through 3 of Heidegger's Being and Time. I will share with you all the PDF for it that I've been using. It's nice to teach something interesting, but it's revelatory about how philosophers use way too many words. Too many words. Too dense and unnecessarily so. You can explain it more clearly the way I explain it, My explanation should be what Heidegger said. He spends a bunch of time being big wordy about things for no good reason. Which, made it tough for Chloe to really understand, but I think she understood a lot better once I converted it into simple breakdown of arguments like that. I mean, ultimately, if you're trying to work with philosophy, no matter what the words say, you need to understand first and foremost what they do, argumentationally, and what they're trying to do. I isolate claims, warrants, impacts, because you can't. That's really the top level frame in terms of communicating things. It's attempt to justify these things he's saying about being. Well, sure, they're supervening on being, provided it's something that we understand it to be. But what they really supervene on is the logic of rhetoric, which is it's not necessarily the case that a given word refers to something concrete. And regardless, like every other word, it's subject to the mechanics of argumentation, whether it wants to be or not. So, now that I read you my muggity pew about it, it's time for me to read the original, non-muggity pew version. And you're going to enjoy that so much with your enjoying face that smiles will erupt from ear to shining ear. From ear to shining ear. So that stuff that I said is written by Heidegger like this. Section 1, the necessity of an explicit retrieve of the question of being. This question has today been forgotten, although our time considers itself progressive and again affirming metaphysics. All the same, we believe that we are spared the exertion of rekindling of a battle of giants concerning being. But the question touched upon here is hardly an arbitrary one. It sustained the avid research of Plato and Aristotle, but from then on ceased to be heard as a thematic question of actual investigation. What these two thinkers achieved has been preserved in various distorted and camouflaged forms down to Hegel's logic, and what then has wrested from phenomena by the highest excursion of thought, albeit in fragments and first beginnings, has long since been trivialized. Not only that, you can Heidegger should be read as a guy complaining shop talk to somebody who doesn't speak that shop talk, right? Not only that, but on the foundation of the Greek point of departure for the interpretation of being a dogma that has taken shape, which not only declares that the question of meaning of being is superfluous, but sanctions its neglect, it is said that being is the most universal and the emptiest concept. As such, it resists every attempt at definition, nor does this most universal and thus indefinable concept need any definition. I mean, come on, right? Everybody uses it constantly and already understands what it means. Thus, what troubled ancient philosophizing and kept it so by virtue of its obscurity has become obvious, clear as day, such that whoever persists in asking about it is accused of an error of method. Can you believe this shit? Can you believe the fucking garbage I gotta put up with? I mean, talk about bullshit, right? Because, like, look, I mean, think about it like that, right? It's like, at the beginning of this inquiry, the prejudices that constantly instill and repeatedly promote the idea that a question of being is not needed cannot be discussed in detail, okay? At all, right? They are rooted in ancient ontology itself. That ontology can, in turn, only be interpreted adequately under the guidance of the question of being, which has been clarified and answered beforehand. So, I mean, what are you going to do? One must proceed with regard to the soil from which the fundamental ontological concepts grew, and with reference to the suitable demonstration of the categories and their completeness. I mean, duh. We should, therefore wish to discuss these prejudices, only to the extent that the necessity of a retrieve of the question of the meaning of being becomes evident. Obviously, we're not doing it for just no reason. So, anyway, just to move on, I know I just sort of breezed through that, but there are 3 such prejudices I just want to get through real quick, because first of all, I mean, okay, here's number 1. This being is the most universal concept. It's so, like, embedded, right? It's so, like, just believe in just sort of incorporate all those lies into yourself. An understanding of being is always already contained in everything we apprehend in beings. But the universality of being is not that of a genus. I mean, being does not delimit the highest region of beings so far as they are conceptually articulated according to genus and species. Being is not a genus. I mean, the universality of being surpasses the universality of genus, obviously, because according to the designation of medieval ontology, being is transcendence. But Aristotle himself understood the universality as transcendental, universal, as opposed to the manifold, the highest generic concepts of material content, as the unity of analogy. And that's what people are not even thinking about. It's like, what about the unity of analogy that's punching you in the face all the time? Why don't you maybe pay attention to that for a second? Anyways, despite his dependence upon Plato's ontological position, Aristotle placed the problem of being on a fundamentally new basis with his new discovery. To be sure, he too did not clarify the obscurity of these categorical connections, but medieval ontology discussed this problem in many ways, above all in the Thomist and Scottish schools, without gaining any fundamental clarity for years. I mean, talk about a bunch of tards. And so, anyway, when Hegel finally defines being as the indeterminate immediate and makes this definition the foundation of all further categorical explications of his so-called logic, he remains with the perspective of ancient ontology, except that he does give up the problem raised early on by Aristotle of the unity of being in contrast to the manifold of categories of the material content. If one says accordingly that being is the most universal concept, then cannot mean that it is the clearest and that it needs no further discussion. Right? I mean, that you can't have your motherfucking cake and eat it too, is what I'm saying here. You all understand me, right? Give it up for Heidegger. That's right, ladies. Yeah, after the show, okay? Right now I'm on a rant. You know how I get about when people say bullshit about being and ontology. It's like, you don't know. That's not you can't. Being's not a genus, motherfucker. Being's not a genus. I get in so many bar fights over that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that trip down Heidegger Lane, also called Fancy Talk Surprise. Hey, he's not riffing. He's purloining. Thanks, everybody. It's like, if you were to actually act like that with somebody, they'd, I mean, I was just reading fast. I don't think I was gish galloping, which is some sort of... People use that term to describe a bullshit argumentation style, but I was just reading fast. Reading Heidegger fast. Because it's hard to contain the emotional mood with so many words if you don't go fast. Martin... What? Gerner Schneider Protocol. Apparently, in the original Heidegger, it's like filled with German words that are combinations of different German words that are he coins and then uses in weird ways. So it's kind of hard to translate. Kind of hard to translate. Just like Ugandan. It's difficult to translate because it only has 3 words, but each of their 3 words has 100,000 connotations, and it's all about very subtle facial cues. Okay, everybody, ever get this down? When in Uganda, boys, you can only eat with girls, and girls, you can only eat with boys. It's part of the Ugandan culture, okay? You gotta respect their beautiful culture and all of its hateful manifestations. Oh. Well, I mean, you can't really blame the other debater for that. You know, aren't you supposed to? I mean, the thing is, of course, there's no way I could process it read like that if I were reading it like that. I had to read it slowly and figure out what it meant. But yeah, I think my summary of it for Chloe came out pretty good. Basically, what Heidegger is getting at here is that I suspect, I mean, not read the book for, is I mean, I'm hopeful, I guess. I should rather than I expect. I'm hopeful he's getting. I'm hopeful he's getting to the recognition that what I've said on multiple occasions. Like, I've come to a lot of philosophy conclusions, and that I'm sure I'm not the first one to come up with, but came up with them independently, which is normal to be expected with ideas that are correct and that are intuitively graspable from existing clues. Anywho, one of the things I've noted is philosophy will begin doing its job when the philosopher begins by explaining why he's being a philosopher. Surfer, philosopher, philosopher, philosopher. He's more like some kind of Effie polar, like somebody who works on very precise pieces of equipment made by BMW to analyze whatever, and he starts talking to somebody, and he's just like, "Oh my god!" And so anyway, he was 16th millimeter off on the flanger tweak, and as accordingly torque on the thing, and the other person has no fucking idea what they're saying. He's just kind of like, not, and the other guy's not picking up any of the cues. Just, well, of course, naturally, we all had a big laugh because um, he said an eighth of an inch, and we're obviously we're using metrics, so it's like I was like, stop bringing Phillips says to the flathead party. That's a good philosophy to have all early in hand. Somehow it brings out in me thoughts of my recent philosophy entitled, It's Hard Not to Always Be Me. Kind of a sad philosophy, huh? This guy again? This guy? Again? I was this guy yesterday. What is my take on Cartesian dualism? I'd say it's one of the more fancy kinds of dualism. I mean, what do you think its central tenets are? Number one, we should rename our country into Cartesia. Number two, we should split it into black Cartesia, white Cartesia. Not by race, just we'll paint the ground those colors. So it's nice and dualistic. Well, again, you're going to have to tell me specific arguments you want me to respond to. I don't know what people mean when they talk about things like that. It's like if I were to talk about a given class of argument, unless within a debate framework, I'm not going to know what you're talking about. So in other words, if you were to talk about certain theory arguments, like what do you think about topicality and counterplans, I would have plenty to say about it. But you're asking me about something that I don't know holistically that well, so I need to actually hear the arguments. I mean, mind and matter, man and nature, those aren't arguments. I mean, the point is that any good philosophy has as it some claim it's making. Some claim that says our current understanding of the status quo is inadequate and this proposed understanding is preferable. So when I'm asking people to tell me what a given thing is saying, I'm asking them to tell me what claims it's making. Because I don't have opinions about things that aren't making claims. I mean, I might, but not in philosophy. I see the parts that don't make claims as just being the stuff they should have cut out. You know, that neither make nor support claims as extraneous explaining. Have I lucid dreamed? Yeah, I have before. I went through a time period where I did it relatively often, but what kept happening is this. I'd try to change my lucid dream. I'd try to move it towards a sex dream, and then that would wake me up before I could actually consummate the planned sexual activities that I was going to lucidly manifest in my dream state. Too much intentionality, I guess. Probably that. Or it could be that Snow White is a more powerful dream wrangler than I. She's probably used to getting dragged into lucid dreams of perverted men, imagining themselves doing unspeakable acts like ew, ew, ew. That's the most unspeakable act. Well, it argues there are two foundations. Two foundations to what? Being? So it's trying to parse being into mental and physical. Well, I mean, it's a good way to parse agency, conscious living, for sure. I would call them metaphysical, physical, communicative, experiential. It is true that we engage on those two fields, but we also engage on two other fields, which are the internal fields and external fields. We engage in our own body's experiences, and we engage in bumping into shit, knocking stuff over. The thing is this. Sleep paralysis, I also thought it was awful too, all over line hand, until I entered my first sleep Paralympics. And it was the most fun I've had since the last time I went to a party featuring a piñata. And of course, that was incredibly fun. If you've never been to a piñata party, yeah, well, I'm fine. I'm just. It's like, haven't you figured out how to tell what, haven't you figured out what drug I'm on by how I'm acting yet? You haven't figured it out? Okay, well, this is just a sleep related stuff. I'm chilling, you know. I wasn't super gacked out or anything when I took a chill pill, and the chill is more than the gack. It's a higher chill to gack ratio than maybe I expected, making me more chill than anticipated. But isn't chill better than saucy? You don't want a saucy Eric, do you? Saucy Erics might say sharp-tongued things. But this Eric is much more like your conventional internet guru. Listen to how calm he is. I just burned through a bit of dopamine with his Digger rant, his Heidegger rant. Oh no, that wasn't burning through it. That wasn't a rant about Heidegger. That was an impassioned performance. Such performances, let me tell you what they do for you. They reinvigorate the spirit of hope and humanity. I believe we're all our future. Help us find our way. I know, I remember you. You were competing in the women's division, Lulubot. Even though we were both sleep quadriplegics, we were competing in swimming, which seemed unsafe, but we had life jackets. And it was basically, it's kind of like, what they do is they release, it's a quadriplegics only race, so they released the quadriplegics from the go line, like sort of ducks, floating ducks, toy ducks or whatever, and they push them, and whoever floats to the other side fastest wins. It's one of the more, I guess you'd say, placid of the sleep Paralympic events. The whole "I think, therefore I am," you can cut off an arm, but it would not affect the mind because the body is separate from the mind. But it would affect the mind for sure. The mind would have to recognize that you no longer had an arm. It would have to adjust every time you tried to reach for something with that arm. It would have to cope with the incredible emotional trauma of losing an arm. It would have to cope with the reinvention of the self under a different ontology. It would dramatically imprint some sort of traumatic experience unless for some reason you had to get it amputated, knew in advance, then maybe it wouldn't have that specific traumatic moment to link to, but yeah, so okay. Yeah. Well, I needed it articulated in a way that invited a response, right? If you just sort of describe or gesture at it vaguely as a name, then it's hard to say what the claim is because it's not being expressed as a claim, really. So it's hard for me to respond to it. There was a dark shadow figure floating around the room. There was also a constant dim noise, like you might hear at a power facility. Are you telling a ghost story, Oliver Lanham? Did this actually happen? I'm curious about it. Yeah, I have no problem. I'm not trying to avoid your question. I just genuinely don't think it's possible to answer until I get more clarity on what I'm responding to. It's either the view that mental phenomena, consciousness, are non-physical, or that the mind and body are distinct and separable. Well, a being moving through time is ultimately an expression of that being's attention. So the thing is, whoever makes these arguments that say mind body distinction is a meaningful one that explains something meaningful about people, well, the answer is, why did they say that and not something else? Forget about what you're saying for a second, person who's saying something. Why are you saying this and not something else? Should be the question that you greet that kind of stuff with. Like, alright, I get it, you're going to make a case about something. Why are you choosing to make this case rather than some other case? And why do some other people not also make this case that is clearly the best case, you know? It was a sleep paralysis hallucination in which you were hanging out with Norwegian goat farmers? Oh, it was ghosts. Well, no, that's not a sleep paralysis dream. That's called paranormal activity of a magical and paranormal and supernatural nature. You're not acknowledging the magic enough. The truth is, Oliver, you saw either a shadow figure, a ghost, a poltergeist, a Sasquatch, or an alien. Could be a Loch Ness Monster, I suppose. One of those. You are an ass. You are an ass. Yeah, you are an ass. Jeremiah's an ass. Oh, turn that mother out. Why is Jeremiah an ass? You people are so dumb, your brains are creating the shadow figures. I think he's kind of joking. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Demons. Demons, schmeemons. Like, what do you think demons are? You know, it's like, do you think they got horns and tails and the whole smoke and shit? And, I mean, for reals? I hear people say these things like, oh, well, I think, it's a theory still, don't worry, I acknowledge I haven't proven it yet, but I think it's demons. Oh, demons, huh? And what does that mean exactly? You know, the textbook demon thing. Well, can you tell me some of how to recognize a demon? Sure. How to recognize a demon. It's pretty straightforward, okay? And I'm going to tell you about it right now. Because you need demon recognizing lessons like everybody else. Don't deny it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to church. I'm Archpastor Eric, and I'm the Archpastor of God's Big Heaven Church, and today's symposium is on demon identification. We're gonna learn a lot. Okay, everybody's getting out their notebooks, that's great. Please remove from your pack the vial of holy water provided, the crucifix provided, the hymnal with page 4 highlighted. Set these in front of you on the pew shelf and direct your attention back to me. Like I said, welcome to Demonology 101. You go around, see things in your life. You say, hey, is that thing that I see a demon? You should know how to figure out if it's a demon. You should know. Because if you see a demon, you might have to slay it with the fiery sword of Abraham. The fiery sword that Michael put in his hand and lent him and said, give it to those guys a time later on when they want to slay demons. And they come around and say, Abraham, where's that demon slaying song? Sword. So anyway, how to identify demons. First, you're going to look for a couple of horns. Unlike people, the demons got horns. Not horns coming from the back of their back, not horns coming from the front like their chest or their sack or anywhere else, but from the top of their head. 2 horns, it's a dead giveaway for a demon. They got 2 horns. Now, you might object and you'd be right that a dorm horns by the demons of demon horns could be covered up by a hat, and then they'd adorn a hat just to fool you, and what would you do about that? Well, there are other ways that you can tell a demon. For example, they have a tail with a pointy arrow in. It points to the place where they live, of course, which is hell. So it's always pointing down. Except when it points up or around, because it's trying to stab somebody with its sharp tip. Yeah, that's right, demon tails don't just whip, they can stab somebody in the face or the hip. Another way you can tell a demon, if you find one, you could look for wings. They sprout and they fly on them. They'll fly around and they'll fly around, fly around. They'll fly around and they'll fly around, fly around. They got some horns while they're flying around, and their tails whipping the ground and stabbing you too. Until you frown, cause you got so many stabs all over you from the tail. You try to grab it, but the demon's flying around, flying around on its demon wings. Once you got them flying around, you presumably in the circular room where they can't get out, or else why would they be flying around, flying around. Once you got them trapped like that, like I said, just go ahead and grab on their leg. Be careful of their feet, because here's another identification treat for you to use to identify some demons if you come across some. Why? Because they got talons instead of toes. Talon and toes, they got a talon 1, talon 2, talon 3, and the 4th talon is like the thumb, you see. It's got a talon toes, like a bird got talon toes, like a bird's got wings, so they're flying around. Yes, they're flying around, flying around, they're flying around. Once you got the demon's leg, pull it to the ground. Say, hey, Mr. Demon, now your turn to frown. I recognize you, you're not fooling me. Your hat is falling off, your horns I see, your wings are fully sprouted, you were flying around. You got talons, I can see them clearly. Now you're on the ground, I pulled your leg and pulled you from the sky now down. So the demon, just give it up to me. And then I take the crucifix and push it to him, see. He says, E-I, 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 I don't like that, I don't like that, please let me go back. I don't like that crucifix makes me sad. And then you push it more towards him. And then you take the holy water out of your gym bag, big, and shake it up and pull out the cork. He says, please, I'll report to detention if you don't pour the holy water on me. But you know demons are all bad, so gee, you take the holy water, begin to splash it on he, and he starts to melt, screaming, Iggity-ya, Iggity-ya, the holy water makes me melt into a pool of ya. Iggity-ya, Iggity-ya. It takes him 45 minutes of doing that until he finally done melting. Because for some reason, even though you splashed it from the top, he melted from the bottom up. And that means that the last thing that said to end was his mouth talking shut up. And that's the story of how to identify demons. If you want another lecture, here you go. If you look for demons, don't forget to look for semen. Demons are always shooting semen everywhere, ejaculating man seed all over the place, except this demon seed shooting it all over your face. Why do the demons always shoot their cum? Is it because they aren't nice and they hate fun? Or is it because for fun for them is what suffering is for us? Whoa, 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 lowly humans. Yeah, that's probably the truth. Lowly humans. Lowly humans. Well, life sure sucks when you're a lowly human. Demon overlords above, flying down with their pointy tails and their talons and their horns above. Oh, lowly human, they will shout, enslaving me and fix their gout, enslaving me to take their trash out. And then they say, go away now, human. Well, evil demons flying high, I wish you would stop flying in my sky. Demonology has never been my thing, but I can identify these things because I took Identify a Demon class. I learned so much when I took that class, and now I'm best at identifying demons from their eyes to their thigh. And then I can take sure and make them die, cause I'll pull them from the sky and I'll stomp them with my crucifix in holy water. Stomp them with my crucifix in holy water. In a most brutal, merciless fashion, will I stomp them with my crucifix in holy water, yeah. So anyway, that's how you identify demons. Just a surge. Your grandma's mother makes you pull spurge from the lawn. It's not surge. I don't need a surge protector. I need a Sarge protector to protect me from Sarge and also the artist LaBarge, whose music everybody needs protection from. They should have named him Pushy Boat instead. The Pushy Boat would be his name. LaBarge means the pushy boat in French or Spanish or Tagalog. Today's activity is learning Tagalog. Let's all go. Ready? Here's how you talk Tagalog. That's what people talk in the Philippines. I just said a whole bunch of shit in Filipino right now. Except it was Tagalog. Which, you know, is always mixed in with a little bit of Indonesian. All of these places are the same. Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines. All of these places are the same. Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines. There's nothing different but their names. Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Why don't you all just become one country so I don't have to differentiate between you anymore? Good advice for the world. Yeah, I'm tired, Kaiser Dragon. I'm tired and feeling a little druggy. You know, not in a bad way. In a sensitive way. Okay? I'm not low energy. I'm sensitive. Hey guys. Can we maybe just take a moment to get real? And be genuinely sensitive with each other for a minute. Let me bring my sensitivity bar over. Her name is Kitty. She lives on the second floor. She lives upstairs from you. Yes, I think I pet you some more. Some kind of petting late at night. Some kind of petting, some kind of fight. You need a shower still, huh? I did give my thought. and it was good. Thanks, Lulubot. An actual MC? Why? That sounds like a lot of responsibility. Can I just be the encourager of ceremonies? I don't really want to own ceremonies in a masterly fashion. How about the facilitator of ceremonies? I could be an FC. Oh, a drum and bass MC. Well, you know what I always say. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. I do say that. I have been known to say that. Oh yeah. We're gonna rave. We're gonna rave in ways that put to shame all raves that came before. We're gonna have the drum. We're gonna have the bass. We're gonna have the 6-minute energy build with a big drop where everybody in the club starts bouncing. Everybody will be on many drugs. And the world will be full of goodness and truth. And I'll stand on the top of the top balcony surveying this thing that I'm somehow responsible for. And I'll say, look what I've done. Look at all of these people having fun. You know, I really killed it this time. This is what I'm talking about. It's my dream. One of my many big dreams is I just want to throw the most kick-ass fucking party in history, you know? I want it to just be like, and it takes money to throw a really good party, of course. But, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to throw the world's most kick-ass party. And, you know, what does that mean? Well, the world's most kick-ass party, of course, begins with a fairly big kick-ass party, where you get like an illegal warehouse, but you make it legal, and I've seen a libel somehow, and it's like, you know, the fire marshal would throw a shit fit, right? You needed to get like that, and then you got to get exactly the right DJs bumping shit, just like a nice mix of like, you know, really compelling new shit and like Bad and the Razor of Love, Bad and the Razor of Love, Bad and the Razor of Love, shit like that, you know. LCD Sound System. I'm losing my edge. Well, this would be a free rave, but it would have a carefully constructed way to spread news about it to, you know, try to control some of the riffraff. There'd be security too. I mean, the thing is, you know, as a private party thrower, I've got no obligation to be non-discriminatory. If somebody looks shady to me, like, get out of here. The thing is, I'd be discriminating on shadiness, not anything else. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell when someone's shady. Well, at this imaginary bestest party, there are a lot of celebrities there. Mostly, like, celebrities who are still in the we're young celebrities wanted to be at the hottest parties phase. Even though they may not be the coolest people, they'll give a lot of shine to the party, you know? What if I wanted a celebrity to hang out with or whatever? I wouldn't mind hanging out with Carson Daly. He seems cool. I wouldn't mind hanging out with Kristen Wiig. She seems funny. I think I'd enjoy hanging out with her. She seems fun. She seems interesting. I wouldn't mind hanging out with like well, I kind of like to hang out with Sensei Kreese, the guy who plays Sensei Kreese. Yeah, there's a black mold. I've got a really vigorous colony of black mold on my shirt. I mean, I wouldn't want to hang out with Kristen Wiig because she's hot. She seems like, well, she's an ENTP, I'm pretty sure, and it would probably be interesting talking to her. Although it might make me feel a little hatery because she's so cool. You would hang out with Sensei Silver. I think we know what running fox means by hanging out. She likes the bad boys. She wants to get the ee-oo, ee-oo. Not a bad idea, Peter Dentici. We do require a positive test for illegal substances to get in here. And ideally, possession of them as well. I don't know about that Tina Fey lady. I'm not so sure about her, but Kristen Wiig definitely is. And, what was the next cat song I was going to do? I was pleased that Hey There My Kitty got on the short speed, got its 1,400 views or whatever. I thought that was a good one. Hey there my kitty, you've been needing lots of pets and but I had a song in mind that I wanted to do for Kitty, and I seem to have forgotten what it was now. It was, it was a good idea, too. I liked it. Who's got some hit singles? Copacabana? That's very possible. I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that on the list. Other suggestions for me to reinvent into a Kitty song? Since it seems to be... I mean, I am such a good boyfriend. I would never go out with any woman that I had any attraction to. If I did, it would be despite that, not because of it. I mean, I think that Amy Sedaris is funnier. What would be another song that I could do that would be good for Kitty? Something sprightly. Something people know. Something that immediately hits their SININESE all at once with looking at the cat. No, it shouldn't start being related to cats. It starts as just a regular song with nothing to do with cats, and I change it into a cat song. You know, like, all the fur was soft and her face was flat, and then my hand pet along her back. But that song's not necessarily good because it's a little long in its development for a short. You need things that kind of go pop, 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 pop. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, no. I already done Don't Stop Believing. Just a small town cat who needs a pet along her back. She'll take a pet that'll take her to anywhere. I mean, I was considering kitties needing lots of petses. Don't petting kitties with my hands is. Bum. She is soft and very nice, baby, and I'm gonna pet her twice. Oh, now. You could do that. Oh, that's good. Right. Hey, there you go, Rennie Fox. That's a good idea. I smell sex and I smell pets. I smell pets and kitty. Who's that? Who's that sending pet needing stares in my direction? Yeah, surely just a pet. Oh no no no. Yes, it's surely just a pet. It's a good suggestion. I'll have to look up the lyrics and see if I can and make that one work. That one will probably that one will definitely get made. I like that idea. That's exactly the sort of thing that I'm looking for. It's a song that everybody knows and likes, and I can find it, the hooky bit of it, and it works time wise with a 15-second short. That'll be a go. I should make a list of these. I always assume I can just remember everything, but that's just me, my ongoing habit of lying to myself about everything. Oh, Eric, you'll remember those things. No, Eric, you won't remember those things. You're lying to yourself. Pets and kitty. Okay, sex and candy. Now, oh no, I don't want any more cats. No, I don't want any more responsibilities. As I've indicated before, I am as grown up as I want to be, and another cat means more grown up. Other suggestions? I want more suggestions for songs that will make good kitty songs. So, I've got I smell pets and kitty. Tell me the name of the real song, and then I will be able to know what you're doing. Because if you tell me your lyrics to it, I don't know what song you're talking about. That's not a bad suggestion there either, too. I enjoy my special kitty. She's Kitty, and her last name is Kitty, Kitty. Kitty, kitty, pet, 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 kitty, kitty, pet, pet, pet. That would be good. Okay. Oscar Mayer. Is that how you do the Oscar Mayer song? Or there's another one like Oscar Mayer wiener. It could also be Hello Kitty. You need pets now from my hand. And these are pets, how do you like them? They're from my hand. And there are the best pets that I can give, man. That's a good one. Hello, kitty. You need pets now. And so petting's what you'll get now. throwback. Alright, which one of you jokers turned my audio off? Who was it? Who was it? It was Peter Dentici. You're tearing up my heart, kitty? I don't know what the song is. Bare Naked Ladies, I don't know 1 week, I don't think. But maybe if you were to hum a few bars, I'd recognize it. But that's hard for you to do in text form. Is there anybody going to let me pet my kitty who needs many pets upon her fur? She's the kind of cat who makes me want to pet my kitty, so I'm petting her right now for sure. That's a good one. That's for girl. She's the kind of cat who makes me pet her because she is so very soft and good. She's the kind of cat who makes me pet her 'cause she is so very, very soft and very good. So I use my petting hand to stroke her back, as you know I very, very, very should. Oh, girl. Well, if it had been a demon, what I'm thinking is, if it had been a demon, that we should have seen either horns, wings, a tail, or talons. Why does that keep going off? Okay. Kitty, you can get some pets. I will pet you. That's not really catchy enough, you know. I don't think that one works that well. Probably it is paranormal activity. Usually things like that are, but I just don't think it's usually demons. Usually it's either a Sasquatch or a Loch Ness Monster. Perhaps a song like something that really, you know, something that really bumps in the club. Something like soft fur cat, boots also fur. My whole hand is looking at her. I pet her fur, I pet her fur, I pet her fur. Baby goes pet, 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 pet. Or I could do an homage to the Phil Collins fans from earlier. I could do Can you feel it coming? Can you feel me petting on your fur tonight? Hold on, hold on. You know what I say about Phil Collins? Schmill Schmollins. That's what I say about him. Whenever I think about Phil Collins, I say Schmill Schmollins. But probably that's a good one to do, even though I don't like Phil Collins. Um, if I were gonna do like some kind of a rap song, it would have to be something that's kind of sing-songy. Something like, mm, like fuck not petting, coming straight from my underhand. Young kitty got it good 'cause she's brown. Petting on me, petting from me 'cause she's a kid teenage. 'Cause she's a kid tager. With a little bit of gold and a pager. Taking a pet or two, that's what the hell she do. You don't like my petting, well fuck you. That'd be a good rap one to do. I could do the beginning of Fuck the Police as a rap song. So they'd have to say, "Well, pet you," you know. Sasquatch and Nessie are demons. Well, they're known as the demon of the Cryptoid Raceway because every year cryptoids from around the world gather to have a race around a racetrack hidden deep in the Peruvian jungles. And Sasquatch and Nessie are always one and two, one way or the other, you know. Poor Nessie, you know. Always getting teased for her name, being called Messy Nessie. Even though she's really quite neat. So anyway, she's my very smushy cat. The kind I will pet with my hand. Her fur will never let my spirits down. Once I get her off the street. Once I pet it with my hand. That's Super Freak by James Frank. No, not Frank James. Rick James. Okay, I'm very tired now. I'm as tired as a place with a lot of tires. Tell me why can't you let... Tell me why won't you let me pet you some more? Tell me why can't I pet you until... Pet you whom I adore. A turtle so happy together, that's possible. Oh, my kitty cat, now can you see? You're simply just a lying there. Oh, just a bee. You're sitting there, oh, no, 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 and on my knee. So I'll pet you forever. I think petting you makes me a good hand. Yes, it does. That's a good one. You got me on that one, Peter. You got a good one there for sure. So happy together is a good inclusion. Oh, you know what is another good inclusion? Pet in the place where my hand touches her fur. Move it up and down until she's purring now. Pet it so pet on the place where my hand pets her fur. Possibly that one. Yeah, that one. Hello, mother. Hello, father. And where I'm at. On a waka. Swimming's cool here. Won 3 races. But I miss your fresh towels and pillowcases. You miss Downy. April freshness. That's the reason. It's so pleasing. Swimming's cool here. Won 3 races. But I miss your fresh towels and pillowcases. It doesn't have enough melody. It doesn't have enough melody. Too sexy for my shirt. You know, what might work though, of a similar sort of vein, would be I always want to pet some more. Petting hand has got more rhythm. Pet my kitty while she snores. I'm always petting you. That'd be a good one. I always want to pet some more. Happy hand likes to pet, yeah now. Always gonna pet some more. The way I'm petting you. Or I always want to pet my cat. Eager hands are seeking that. I always want to pet my cat. I always want to pet my cat the way I pet my cat. I always want to pet my cat. Eager hands are always petting. I always want to pet my cat the way I pet my cat. I think I'm going to start with that one. Bob Saget died, yep. He boofed too much melatonin. It's one of the most common causes of death these days. Excessive melatonin boofing. Well, ours is an outside cat. We never see any poop or pee. We don't have to worry about cleaning it up, you know. Alright, so what? I'm going to take a little poll here. Which cat video should I do next? Should I do... I'm going to break it down to a few choices. I'm going to pick a couple of choices. Okay. I'm going to break it down to Sex and Candy, Girl, Girl by the Beatles, Then we have or. How does that even happen? I'm not even on this screen, you know? I don't understand how it happens. I'm not pushing any buttons that should do that. I'm going to check the settings. Hotkeys. There. Now it shouldn't happen anymore. Right, no, I didn't. I pushed cancel instead of apply like an idiot. Trash, trash, apply. Okay. There, now that shouldn't happen anymore. Okay, so I'm looking for a choice. What do you guys vote for of those songs I named? Do you think I should do Sex and Candy, Girl, So Happy Together, or Guilty Feet? Let's take a vote. Let's take a vote. Moondance is a good idea, too. I'll put it to the list. But it's not part of the voting list. It's a natural time for a cat pet. The four choices are Sex and Candy, Girl, So Happy Together, and Guilty Feet. So Sex and Candy would be like probably start with I pet cats and love them. Stroke their furry, soft and deliciousness to down. Something like that. I don't know, right? For Girl, she's the kind of cat who makes me pet her 'cause she is so very soft and good and just and true. She's the kind of cat that when I pet her I know that I wish that I will never ever through. Oh, pets. So Happy Together would be, it's time to pet my cat, my loving cat. I've got to put my hand on that and pet my cat. My cat needs lots and lots of pets, and that's a fact. I'm petting my cat now. Okay, so we got one vote for So Happy Together. And Running Fox votes for Girl. Me and my kitty McGee is not on the voting list. We've got 4 things on the list. Okay, 4 things on the list. You got to choose with your choosing bone, which is number 1 on the list. Are we going Sex and Candy, Girl, So Happy Together? You like that one? Sex, So Happy Together? We got 2 votes for So Happy Together, 1 vote for Girl. Anybody else? You're in your meow Sadies. Alright, we'll do Happy Together in the absence of any other votes. Last votes? Any last votes? Okay, so Happy Together wins. I like to pet my cat, and when my cat is that, the thing I like to pet a lot, and when I'm not, I always want to pet my cat. And together. Do I have the lyrics of that one anywhere? Do I need to write it? I guess I need to write it. Okay, so here, look at this. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be skeptical, but it's a fact. She needs a lot of pets along her back. I'm petting my cat now. My cat needs 1,022 pets every hour. My cat needs my cat then will clean off the pets in her shower, which is her tongue. It's a good song. It's a winner. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be very skeptical, but it's a fact. She needs a lot of pets right now along her back. I'm petting my cat now. My cat needs 1,022 pets every hour. My cat then will clean off the pets in her shower, which is her tongue. Maybe I should find something that rhymes with tongue. Till she is done. My cat needs 1,022 pets before she's done. My cat then will clean off the pets in her shower, which is her tongue. Tongue, tongue. She's the cat. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be very skeptical, but it's a fact. She needs a lot of pets right now along her back. I'm petting my cat now. Okay. She's over here. She knows something's going on. Oh, she just woke up because Daddy's acting like he's maybe going to bother her with one of these video making things again. She's not a big fan. Not her favorite activity, but she's a trooper, I'll tell you. She really is a trooper. She says, okay, Daddy, fine. You can make your little video. At least practice it so I don't have to do multiple takes. Alright, Kitty, I will. She's a cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be very skeptical, but it's a fact. She needs a lot of pets right now along her back. I'm petting my cat now. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. She needs a lot of pets right now along her back. You might be very skeptical, but that's a fact. I'm petting my cat now. Okay. Wait. Chow and chow. I know, baby. You are such a good kitty. Thank you for being so understanding. I appreciate it. Yes. You're my internet superstar. And I appreciate your glory. Thank you for being so cooperative. Well, what a very good kitty. This is the cat I pet when I pet cats. She needs a lot of pets right now along her back. And pets are what I'll give for two, and that's a fact. I'm petting my cat now. Try it one more time, kitty. This is the cat I pet when I pet cats, and I like to pet it. Sorry, kitty. Let's try it again. Here we go. Ready? Look at the words. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be very skeptical, but it's a fact. And I am giving pets right now along her back. I'm petting my cat now. My cat loves to get a whole lot of these pets along her fur. Yes, she loves to pet the feeling that's good inside of her. Thanks, kitty. You were very cooperative tonight. Now, I'm going to have to edit that, obviously. It's a little long. A lot long. I've cut just the right section out. But once I've done, what you're going to see is a hit feature film that sweeps the world by storm. I think you're going to really enjoy the sweepage. But it's a fact. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be very skeptical, but it's a fact. And I am giving pets right now along her back. Petting my cat now. She's the cat I pet. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be very skeptical, but it's a fact. And I am giving pets right now along her back. Petting my cat now. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be very skeptical. Sounds good. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. So, kitty together. Okay. Done. Upload. Now that's more up my alley. That is so right up my alley. You're not watching me watch myself, you're watching me make a short about my cat so that people can understand how important it is that I'm singing to my cat. I have a dream that someday, I'm going to be able to honestly tell people that my job is singing to my cat. I think it'll be a great job to have. Not a lot of demands. My cat, as a client, is very undemanding. She never really demands that I sing to her or even requests it. So, it's nice. She doesn't complain about where's the caterer, where's my vegan food. It's a pajan. It's a little bit different than a pagan. It's spelled the same. A pajan is somebody who likes to pa their jan. My cat now. She's the cat I pet when I pet cats. You might be very skeptical, but it's a fact. And I am giving pets right now along her back. Petting my cat now. It's a good one. I think it's going to get a lot of views. You know, the thing is, with these cat videos, they have varying degrees of success. Like, um, what's the matter with the cat I'm petting? Can't you tell that she's out of style? No, because the cat I'm petting is totally very in style. That one did especially well for a cat singing song. And the thing is, about that is that was a good loop. It's still camera, which helps. Close up of the cat, which helps, and no pitch problems, which helps. If you get all those components together, and it's the right song that people like the immediate catchiness of, then you can push up towards the 3,000 thing, you know? It's my cat in the box. It's my cat in the box. My cat in the box, girl. If I had a cooperative kitty that I could put in a box and strap around my waist and do a spoof of that, that would probably be pretty good. But my kitty is not cooperative. I have to wait till she's asleep to get anything accomplished at all. But I'm looking forward to, and I think what's going to be a really successful one as well, actually, is I always want to pet my cat. Eager hands are always petting. I always want to pet my cat the way I pet my cats. Who really loved that George Michael song? Who was a secret admirer of George Michael? Who was president of the George Michael fan club? You. All of you. Together. Without even knowing it. Okay, it's time for bed now. It's super time for bread. Rachel's a great playmate. Never gonna pet my cat the way I'm petting you. Never gonna pet a dog the way I'm petting you. I think it's even better though next, right? Because, you know, that's true. It's my cat. If I say I'm never gonna pet a cat the way I'm petting you, well, I'm petting you and you're a cat, so that doesn't really count, right? So it has to be, never gonna pet a dog the way I'm petting you. I also think pet plus pet, we're gonna pet this cat tonight. Pet this cat tonight. You know it's gonna pet plus pet. Pet plus pet is hard to say actually. Pet plus pet, we're gonna pet this cat tonight. That would probably be a good one too. Or, whoa, here it comes. My petting hand will pet you up. Whoa, here it comes. You're a pet lover. Or perhaps this. You're sleeping there like you don't care, but pets are in the air, and now my hand is coming here. It gives you pets, you love them dear. Oh, it's I think to think that you're immune to the stuff. Oh yeah. It's closer to the truth to say you can't get enough. You know you're gonna have to face it, 'cause I'm petting my cat. Yeah, I included Crimea River. You're gonna have to face it because I'm petting my cat is a good one for that. Uh, like, you know, could do fastball song. That'd be a good one. Everywhere I'm petting my cat and you see in my hand. It's stroking her fur and it won't ever land. She needs her roaster now, petting my cat someday. And you know my pet will pet on her soft fur. She looks up at me and her face in a purr. We're petting my cat, happy at that today. That's a good one. I forget what the song called, but I made up my mind. I'm petting my cat now. The pets just need to go their simple way. I raise up all my petting hand to pet her. But petting and petting is not the only petting way. Now you see that I am petting my cat and I'm petting her more. You thought that I'd pet less, instead I pet more. I've got some pet outside and also in store for her. And I'm going to feel the softness under my hand. That softness I feel is her fur, understand. I'm petting my cat and I think that it's great. Whoa, whoa. Oh, yeah. It's a good song, right? One of Fastball's two really good songs. How about, Kitty needs a pet. Yeah, you know she needs a good pet from me. Something started petting, it's hard to define, but I like my petting kitty and I want her to be mine. And you know that she's no. No, not that one. How about then let's see. What other fantastic classic hits can I possibly conceive of? Such things as I'm not gonna pet it. No, I'm not gonna pet it. I'm not gonna pet now this cat. And then I pet it. That'd be a funny one. Yeah. Perhaps. Welcome to the time for petting kitties. What a lovely cat. What a lovely cat. So I'm petting that. Boom, bum, bum, bum. Welcome to the time. Always petting kitties. I don't really like that song that much, but it seems like it would be good for petting kitty songs. Or possibly I'll try to think of some other good songs for kitty pets. For the petting kitty brigade, parade. Guilty hands just pet so badly. Can we never pet again when I need to be pet you? Or possibly, you know, I would like to get some Cyndi Lauper in the mix. But not girls just want to have fun. True colors are something else, you know. FI is hard. I really realized how in my family I was definitely trained to, or it was definitely reinforced to get over feelings based things right away. That if you got your chops busted for a good reason, there's no point in feeling about it. All right, just give it up. And that's what happened today. Um, Rachel kind of, not that I care, and I don't. Rachel kind of fucked up a little bit in the sense that I had the house pretty clean for my dad coming home, and then I don't know. She had a brain fart, and after we cleaned it up more or less, she emptied a bunch of like stainy kind of soup in the sink and forgot to come back and finish cleaning it up. You know. So we got an earful from Dad, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. I looked at that kitchen; it's pretty clean. And he took me in there. I was like, okay, yeah, that's filthy. I don't know how that happened. That's my bad. All sorry, but you know, it's like, um, it's tricky because it's not like we do a whole hell of a lot in that kitchen. It's just in the process of cleaning up the last little chunk of things and getting dishes and stuff cleaned up before my dad gets home. One dish went in sort of the sink after we'd cleaned up the sink, and Rachel meant to go back to it but forgot, and it was left a mess. And she's not, her hands and stuff aren't working as well as they should, and etc. Oh, you scared me. As an ENTP, I don't like to admit how others being mad at me bothers me. I am bad. I would just ignore them. Well, then they don't bother you. Then it doesn't bother you. It's called not opening your email. It's one of my favorite activities.
Hey, handsome.
Hi, beautiful. Are you here for some specific reason or just to visit?
Oh,
Here's your shoe.
oh, thank you.
I can move this out of your way. Let me get another soda real quick for myself, or something to drink. I'm thirsty. You want a beverage?
No, I'm good, thank you. Actually, maybe I will.
Okay, you want a soda or not a pop
Soda, please.
Kitty gets to be recorded before I do. You know what would be cool to do? Possible Kitty song would be the bridge part of Say It Ain't So. Dear Kitty, I'm riding in search of years of petting. I've heard it, I pet you, You say pet me. A petting awakens ancient feelings. I pet you, you look too. I pet the software on your back. It may be longer than 15 seconds though. That's a good one though. A well-known song, although it is the bridge part of it, which is kind of the best part of the song. It's so perfect. Rage is an expression of despair, fear, disgust, shame, and overwhelming anger. I mean, I only see rage as being powerful anger, or a more powerful version of anger. I don't see any of those other things in rage. It's not when I'm enraged. I have become angered because somebody's not respecting my boundary. You know, I've got a boundary too. And just like Italy, my boundary is shaped like a boot. Because that's kind of the best shape for a boundary, I've determined, having evaluated multiple boundary shapes. You're rocking a beard too. Everyone thinks I look better with it, like my real face isn't good enough. I mean, that's my reality next. I definitely look better with it because, well, it covers up my face. Which is not a very pretty thing to look at, you know. Like, at the last county beauty contest, I finished 6th place from the bottom in the beauty face contest. That's pretty low. It's pretty poor. I'm hopeful we can all come inside to feel our feelings in the warmth of the hearth of family and friends. Easy to be distracted, lots of things to see. Easy to also be intractionably stubborn, you see. But life seems to be kind of funny like that. People quibbling about what's opinion, what's fact. Underlying all this discursive growth is soil mostly rich and warm, filled with sufficient hydration too. All the stuff you say to grow so it's a mixed bag. Globally, a combination of dread and liberty, a new era and a forgotten past, with some of us stuck there at last, forgotten so often by the rest and rejected by some as the worst of the test, and how they exhibit a pre-human ontology. But having been among those primitive few, still alive dude, who knew that the internet didn't exist. At least they knew that they hadn't knew it had existed when they learned tasks ordinarily lasted fewer lengths of time if portions of them could be delegated fine to reliable machines. They could calculate and execute things you tell them to do. And that's where computers came from. Computers came from an unholy union of silicon and people dust. Hybridization for the first time. That's the first extended cut version of the opening song in my rock opera called When the Day Silicon and People Made Love, and produced a horribly deformed baby that made everybody constantly scream in the following fashion: Eek! I don't want to look at your eek! I don't want to look at your eek. It's a sentence that makes a lot of sense, you know. When is this from? Today? Did I deal with this? Did I still not deal with this? Question mark? Okay, freaking WhatsApp. WhatsApp, you need to just not exist right now. You need to cease existing. What am I doing right now? Why am I looking at this? What am I doing? I'm just mushing out into the mush town. All I know is that everybody needs to constantly look at my face. You want to see a picture from Jenner where me and Poopy and Pee-Pee and Papa go to the Mugity store, as they call it, in Southern California, also called El Restaurante de Mexicano, or what you might know more as a Mexican restaurant. Okay, cool, that's good enough. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is so heartwarming. It's Rachel's mom, it's me, it's Rachel, it's my dad. We're all together. I gotta say, it was pretty satisfying watching Rachel's mom and my dad go, "Oh, you're me," and talk about timeshares. Then, after some length of it, think, "I'm sorry, we're monopolizing the conversation." I said, "No, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I want to see. I want to see you two hitting it off, chatting it up. You know, a couple of ESTJs just seriously spent the whole time talking about like pensions, timeshares, vacation spots, you know, housing prices there, cost of living, advantages, disadvantages, transportation things, just like straight up ESTJ shit all night long. And Rachel and I were just kind of sitting there relaxed. And again, at some point, my dad said, doing this sort of defensive FE, which I guess my mom kind of trained him in because my mom was FE tool, you know, and probably busted his chops about it more than she should have. My dad's like, I know we're boring you. I'm sure this isn't the most exciting topic. I said, you are not boring me. I find this very soothing, frankly. And I did. I found it very soothing to just neither Rachel nor I had to put any effort into making this work, right? Both these ESTJs wanted to talk about exactly the same kind of shit. Their timeshares, their, the way that Rachel's mom structured her public service so that she put in the full 10 years and then it was necessary to get a pension and then left. That kind of shit makes freaking public unions a joke. But what are you gonna do, right? They talk about those kind of things like grown-ups. ESTJs talk like the most grown-uppy grown-ups imaginable. Like, the one thing that I thought at that table very clearly was, there's no doubt about it. Okay, I'm 50, Rachel's 36 or whatever she is. My dad's 85, and Rachel's mom is probably 70 or something. And there was no doubt that it wouldn't have mattered if our ages had been reversed. There were only two adults there. There were only two adults. And there was me and Rachel. It's like, and it was just relaxing to, like, feel like, okay, they don't see us as real adults anyway, so we can just relax here and be the kids. I'm 50 years old, remember? My own father doesn't see me as an adult yet. It's pretty funny. If it weren't so sad. It's actually not sad. I don't find it sad because I just find it just part of the entrenched hilarity of life. It's also overwhelmingly oi oi oi. Something overwhelmingly oi 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 about it. I got to do the urban resident special today. Walking to the 7-Eleven. There's a, let's say, housing fluid individual there inside who looks clean in his clothes and has these weirdly loud kind of like he's about to get on stage and perform kind of clothes on. And he's yelling at the cashier people or something. And the cashier guys are both these Sikhs, I think, who are accustomed to this shit, or maybe they're Armenians, I don't know. And they're like, fuck off, get out of here, And, well, what I did is I was in line, I just saw the guy there, and other people were kind of like hesitant. I just like get in line, not look at that guy at all. Look at the counter guy and goes, 2 packs Marlboro Red shorts, because he was being loud, And the guy's like, I'm like, yes. And we just like hand signal, get me in and out of here because I wanna touch you in your touching zone. I very eloquently said something good for me. Hooray! Thanks. I wonder what it was. I am always hanging out at NASCAR races. I'm always hanging out there, yeah. I like to watch the cars go round and round, and the loudness always helps, and also the gases in the air from all the exhaust. It's a surefire way to make me feel sick, Make me feel like I wasted a day. I'm going to NASCAR with June. Let's go get drunk at a NASCAR race. Not words you want to hear. From anybody really ever. Sounds terrible, you know. You know, despite the fact Peter didn't teach you that you get my relationship with NASCAR wrong, I will tell you this. You're not the only one who says that. When you look at me, you fall in love. Well, generally I say to look at me is to fall in love. This face, this ageless face of an angel, so pure, so true and innocent and untouched by the weatherings of life. This is the face that launched 1,000 ships. Why did it launch so many ships, you might ask? 998 ships. They said, well, we might as well build 2 more ships. Even numbers are lucky. Okay. I shit you all not. Okay? If you thought I was shitting you, you were wrong. I shit you not. This is going to be my final cigarette. And then I shit you not. By the time I'm done with this cigarette, I'm going to stop. Not even enough, Boba Fett. It's odder than 1,000. I guess I should have said round number. You corrected my diction, Boba Fett. Points for you. You win. I made a diction mistake. And that's why I'm going to make it onto Santa's Not E list this year. E stands for excellent. Alright. Let's say you're crashing in a hot air balloon. Would you rather have a life raft, a shit ton of bean bags, or a 4-wheel drive Jeep in your hot air balloon? What do you want? Do you want to have in your hot air balloon a life raft, a 4-wheel drive truck, or what was the third thing I said? A submarine? I need to go to bed. I took a full quantity tonight. I don't usually take a full one. It kind of rocks you out with your cocks out, you know. I just really feel like we're all being cheated by not facilitating more use of hot air balloons as an actual means of transportation for people, you know? Somebody needs to do that. Somebody needs to say, hey, I'm sick and tired of all these airplanes occupying the airspace. Why aren't I want a hot air balloon every day from my house to my job, 40 miles away. If the wind's blowing the wrong direction or something, well, don't worry about it. I'll put some fans on my hot air balloon that'll make it blow the direction I want it to go. So don't try to stop me, FAA. That's exactly the reason why behind your back they call you the FA gay. So true. As true as 1,000 truths made from 1,000 true cows. Some folk call me a rambling man, 'cause I do a lot of thumbing and a kicking cane, but it won't do an answer good to call me names. My daddy wasn't well able, though I wasn't born and raised in no ghetto, just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. I don't want no handout, living, don't want any party, anything they giving. I'm proud and white and got a song to sing. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you gotta hump and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. Well, I'm gonna find me a wealthy woman in a line of work that don't take no diploma, 'cause I ain't got much to lose but lots to gain. You might call me a good time fella, but I ain't no black and I ain't no yellow. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. I don't want no handout, living, don't want anybody, anything they giving. I'm proud and white and got a song to sing. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you gotta hump and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. That's true. Small-time Billy been around a little, and I like guitar and I like the fiddle, 'cause that's a soul to a soul, takes a fan my flame. A blue-eyed Billy feeling ready, I got to work just to be somebody, just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. I don't want no ain't I living, no more in the part of anything they giving. I'm proud and white and got a song to sing. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you gotta hump and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. You said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you gotta hump and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. If you said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you gotta hump and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. Just to see how else they could have beat those pyramids. How could have they built them without any modern technology? Probably it was aliens that came down from heaven, helped them build big triangle shapes, because aliens are notoriously fond of big triangles. Look at lots of cave drawings from the Egyptians, you'll see some very strange shit. And if you want to, I suppose you could interpret aliens in it. But you know what the truth is, I don't think you're giving people enough credit, because people are more ingenious than you think. You know, it's hypothesized instead what they did was they moved logs down waterways, so they watered up the bog and they filled up the lanes in the pyramids with water too. Then this water went in there, floating along dogs to the places where they needed to go, and they would then put the thing on the what now? The big square rock on the boat, how it would be diffused in its weight so that the boat wouldn't sink, and that's great. And then they floated to where it needed to go, perhaps even elevating slopes with a levee kind of system to get the things up via water. That's the way they didn't need to use so much strength, like a bunch of squatters squatting on something heavy underneath it. And that's the truth. All the truth you need to know, anyway. The rest of it's top secret. You're not allowed to know it. As you recall, I'm going to end this when I finish this cigarette. And I haven't finished this cigarette yet, so. You know what to say to that. S-U-C-K it. Suck it. Before I'm going to go, I'm going to make another cat song. I'm going to upload it right now. But I'm going to make another one. Maybe hold off to upload it for a little while. I'm going to do, what's his name? Wham guy. George Michael. I never want a pet from you. I'm trying hard to pet you now, but guilty hands have got no petting. Seems I accidentally pet the ground, and now I'm wanting you. I always want to pet my cat. Eager hands are always petting. I always want to pet my cat the way I pet my cat. It's that simple, Eric. It doesn't make it any fancier than that. Don't fancify things. Don't need fancification. That's what Mom always said. She said, life is like a box of fancifications. Says here. That's the wrong way. Sorry, Kitty. I turned it the wrong way. I appreciate your patience. You're a wonderful kitty friend. I am so blessed. I didn't deserve your patience because I'm not very efficient at this. You are wonderful and cooperative. I love and appreciate you. I always want to pet my cat. I'm sure it's over so you got a bad start. I always want to pet my cat. Eager. Could you? I always want to pet my cat. Eager hands are always petting. And so I want to pet my cat the way I pet my cat. Not very well sung. Let's try again since you're being patient. I appreciate it. I always want to pet my cat. Guilty hands forgot their petting. Now I'm gonna pet my cat the way I pet my cat. I think that's probably a good one. That's probably a pretty good one, as pet my cat songs go. Let's see, we'll take a look-see. We'll see what happens when things happen. It's okay. That's good enough. Guilty hands have got no petting. That's a good title for it. Guilty hands have got no petting. Kitty. Song. There. Done. And winning. I'm winning the contest to upload another one of those videos. And you're all winning the contest for enduring the world's boringest live stream. Congratulations. That's important too. Don't just think about fun things. Think about the importance of boring things like this too. This kind of boredom is the kind of boredom that really builds character in people just like you. You know, we're doing the CWFP award show any minute now. Because you know, Karma's Pimp, you're the kind of cat who makes me pet you, 'cause you are so very soft and just and good. You're the kind of cat who needs a pet, and that's okay, because the pet is what my hands should always do. Pet cats for you. She's the kind of cat who makes you down when the friends are there, you feel the fool. When you say she's looking good, she says, hey, that's just understood. She's cool. Ooh, 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 girl. This thing jump out of the water? Is it dead? It appears to be dead. Are there nails falling out? Is that what's going on? That fish is dead. Okay, well, the last of the Moguppies, they have, they're all dead. No more guppies in the tank. They're all dead now. We just have our chicklets, our chicklets, our chicklods, and our crayfish. Candyman's not a bad one. I could do Candyman. I don't drink either. Next. This is non-alcoholic beer. But, hey, me making you want to smoke weed again makes me want to smoke weed again. Let's do it. It's always a good idea. We should all ever pull out your balls. It's bong rip time. We've endured a lot of boring shit tonight, so we deserve these bong rips. Okay, Eric's been terrible from the outset. Totally dull, not entertaining, flat, not enthusiastic. We expect him to bring the energy. Instead, he brought the lame, atmospheric, post-house after party music, and we just thought, gay. Too high for what purpose? You know, too high to remove all California from your voice. That'll happen sometimes. I'm just I'm just a kitty pet, and everywhere I bet I could have a chance for kitty. I'll pet her with my hand, and then I'll pet her sand. It's possible. It's also possible to do soft kitty needing pets. And do Blue Shadows from Three Amigos. Or also from the Three Amigos. Oh, this would be a good one. My little kitty cat is the sweetest cat. And gee, little kitty cat, would you like my hat? You could use a petting with my eager petting hand. Oh, my little kitty cat, sweet little kitty cat, smile little kitty cat, I pet you. Isn't that nice? That's nice. Pet my cat, and 1,000 hankerings will come to bat. Or it might be the sound of your soft fur. The music I hear makes me pet you till I hear you purr. That would be a fine addition to the kitty song repertoire. Soft and brown and lying sleepy, my hands are ground and it is creeping up on your soft and furry body right now. Then I pet my kitty with my hand, I'll touch her soft fur and pet her land, and then I'll call her my kitty friend and tell her I love her. Oh, 'cause she's such a good kitty. Yes, I found her in the city. She was born in the bed next to me. Her mother was pregnant, you see. Now, long and lean and tall and pretty, my very special kitty is lying here, and now she needs some more pets. She needs some more pets. She needs some more pets. songs of Kitty. Don't call it a kitty. Oh, Cool J's Don't Call It a Comeback. Not such a great song for that. Lacking in melodic identity, I guess you'd say. Maybe some classical music like it's a good Mozart song that everybody knows. Like, well, you could do like the Masterpiece Theater song. Bum 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 ba da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun da 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 da. Oh, me lady, very fancy kitty, do you need a lot of pets on you? Because you are in this fancy song, I will pet you very fancily. Ooh. That'd be a good one, too. Okay, I finished my cigarette. That means I'm ending this drink. It's over. Now, this last bit was just so compelling. Eric singing random cat songs. Like, wow, no wonder you're not a superstar, Eric. I mean, wow, I can't believe you're not a superstar, Eric. You make live streams like this? I mean, why isn't everybody watching this? What are you doing exactly? I'm doing things. Just relax, everybody. I just need to go to bed, that's all. I got a one-way ticket to Slumber Town. Fortunately, I got an overnight sleeper car ticket. So, I should be able to get a reasonable amount of rest. Although I know already that bed's going to be too short for me. But whatever. That's on the train. Eventually I'll get to Long Bed Town, which is where my final destination is. Where all the beds are long. Just like, well, I think we all know what. Long Island. Oh, goodbye.